can be wrong. It's okay. When did that become illegal? You can make a mistake. You don't lose time off of your life. I was at a yard sale, not to brag. Yeah, I'm a big shot. I go to yard sales. No, we're at a yard sale. And there was this stack of old People magazines. People magazines that were old. Not Old People magazine. Not like Matlock Watcher. Denture Enthusiast. And my favorite, Extremely Legal. And there was a People magazine from 1986. And the cover story was, "The Most Respected Man in America, Reader's Poll." You know who it was? Bill Cosby. Reagan came in second. True. We made a mistake. We didn't know. He was the most respected man in America. And then he went to prison. And then they let him out. I think they were afraid he was going to commit suifrazofrisms. I went to high school in the 1980s. Every guy in my graduating class had a mullet. Seemed like a good idea at the time. You look in my yearbook now, it looks like I went to high school with a lesbian separatist militia. One day we'll be like that about vaping. Seemed like a good idea. The great taste of steam. And the ultimate example of we didn't know. Michael Jackson. We didn't know. And he didn't give us any signs. Who would have thought that a glow-in-the-dark skeleton who dressed like Napoleon and lived by himself in an abandoned amusement park with other people's children and a feral chimp would have such a creepy dark side?
This happened after a comedy show. This old lady came up to me and she said, "I'm having a private party down at my house in Malibu. It's all Australian themed. I'd like you to come and perform." And I thought, oh no, it's happening, it's happening. My friends predicted it, it's happening. And I thought, surely she can't pay me enough money. And then she went, "I'll pay you $3,000. And I went, "Oh, look, what time do you need me to be there? What time?" So I went down to her racist party and I'm aware Australia's not a race, but anyway. I went down there. She would have spent $100,000 on this afternoon garden party. It was all Australian themed for her 12 friends. That's all that were there. I was the only Australian. It was weird. It was like an Australian version of Get Out. That's what it felt like. I thought, this doesn't seem safe. I need to leave. And I said to the old lady, I said, "Do you want me to get up and tell jokes? Do you want me to do stand-up? Is that why I'm here?" And she said, No, I don't want you to do that. I just want you to walk around and just be Australian." That's what she said to me. And then she had a handler there. I'm not making this up. They handed me a kangaroo on a leash. A real-life kangaroo. You don't hold a kangaroo on a leash. That's a very strange thing to do. That's like one of you guys having a bald eagle as a kite. Just like, oh. Why did we get a bald eagle kite? This is ridiculous. He's already on Grandma twice. Why did we... So that's what it felt like, having a kangaroo on a leash. And I'm walking around this lady's backyard, just with a kangaroo on a leash, just going up to her 12 guests going, "G'day guys, how you going?" Yeah, it's a kangaroo. I didn't think that'd be here either, but here we are. Hello. Anyway. Shrimp on the barbie, dingo's got my baby, have a nice night! Just saying the stupidest that I could think of. Do you know how embarrassing that was? Walking around with a kangaroo on a leash? I would have rather had sex with the old lady, that would be less embarrassing.
So, this happened to me. I was driving by my middle school, and this was a memory from 6th grade, where my 6th grade teacher, she was our Spanish teacher, and she would like make the white kids change their first names to Hispanic names. What was that? Does it help you learn? It's like, okay, so I'm a Jose now? I don't understand. I'm going through puberty. I have enough of an identity crisis as it is. But my best friend Jeff, he didn't play ball. On his name tag, he wrote Mr. Goodbar. Like the candy bar. And here's the memory. My teacher sees it, and she lost her mind, and she goes, "You can't call yourself Mr. Goodbar!" And he goes, "Why not?" And she goes, "'Cause Mr. Goodbar is a porn star!" And I'm like, there's no way I'm remembering that correctly. So I looked it up. And it turns out Mr. Goodbar was a very famous porn star in the 80s. But we didn't know that, because we were 11 years old. Senorita Pregunta. If I may, one pregunta. Como se dice too horny to teach? How do you say that?
Friday night, I go to sleep, and I check my Instagram, and there is an Instagram message from the official blue checkmark Instagram account of the Planters Nutmobile. Planters Peanuts has a car shaped like a giant peanut, and it has an Instagram account, and it sent me a message, and the message read, "Word on the salty streets. That's literally what it said. That is a failed MFA major running that account, by the way. Word on the salty streets is you're doing a gig tomorrow night in Montclair, New Jersey. How would you like to arrive at the theater in style? With a free ride from the Planters Nutmobile. Now, my lizard brain read this message and went, I want to ride in a peanut! Like, I immediately wanted it. And then my super ego kicked in and said, Patton, that's going to be fun for a minute. And then you're going to be on the freeway in a giant peanut, everyone looking at you. They're going to pull up to the theater in a giant peanut, and you're going to exit a giant peanut out of a hatch in the side like a clown fetus. Time to tell my jokey bokies, thank you, peanut car! Have some dignity for once in your life. Act like a rock star and turn this down. And I did, and I was really nice about it. I was like, thank you so much for this kind offer. I must politely pass. The venue has already engaged a car, which they cannot cancel, complete lie. But perhaps in the future, I will avail myself of your generosity. Very sincerely yours, Patton Oswalt. And I went to sleep. Next day, noon, sleek black town car pulls up in front of my hotel. I go down to meet it. My driver gets out. He is a handsome, bespoke-suited, early 50s Egyptian man. If you were going to make an Egyptian James Bond, this is the guy to hire. He goes, Mr. Oswalt, let's see you into the back seat. Off we go to your show. And I get in the back seat, and we pull away like the rock star that I am. We go 600 feet. We're going to make a right on 6th Avenue. And as we make the right, and it's completely my driver's fault, he bumps into and knocks over a guy on a moped. Big, muscular guy on a tiny moped with a skinny little girl hanging off of his back. And it's completely my driver's fault. He has knocked this guy over. The moped guy gets back up and says to the passenger window, hey man, watch it. You just knocked me over. And my cool, collected, bespoke-suited driver says, you! Get watch where you're going, I'll murder you! 0 to psycho in 2 seconds. Then my driver realizes, wait, I'm in a car. He's on a moped. I'm just going to drive away. So he makes the right onto 6th Avenue. He's going to triumphantly drive away. And we go 2 feet because it's a red light. We're not going anywhere. We're stuck right there. The moped driver pulls up next to us, taps on the passenger window. You remember me? Raises his left hand and punches the passenger side mirror off the car. 1 punch. My driver puts the car in park, takes off his seatbelt, gets out, and runs at the moped guy, throwing fists. And the moped guy is huge, but there's a moped between his legs. His girlfriend's hanging off of his back. He's got no real center of gravity, and some of the punches are landing. So he's like, this. And he turns his moped against traffic and zips away the opposite direction down 6th Avenue between all the cars. My driver gets his arms around the girlfriend's waist, but she doesn't let go. So my driver is now dragged away down 6th Avenue. I'm watching all this through the back window. There he goes. That's my driver. I don't know what to do right now. The light's green, everyone's honking at me. I'm like, you're honking at luggage. There's nothing I can do. You're honking at a baby on board sign. I have nothing to do with it. This car. Block and a half later, my driver loses his grip, falls off, stands up. Half of his suit is torn open, chest is bloody, this side of his face is bleeding, and he doesn't adjust any of it, leaves the suit hanging open, calmly walks back to the car. Everyone is screaming at him, flipping him off, doesn't acknowledge any of it. Gets in the car, closes the door, seatbelt back on, turns to me and says, what was that all about? like, just serial killer calm. I don't say what the fuck that's about because I'm terrified. We drive to Montclair in silence, get to my hotel. He gets out. Mr. Oswalt, have a wonderful show tonight where you've reached your hotel. I thank him. I tip the shit out of him. He knows where I'm saying he can climb the side of that building and kill me. Go into my hotel room. I step out onto the balcony. I look out over the city of Montclair, New Jersey, and I said to myself, I apologize, Planter's Nutmobile. Pride and hubris have led me to this moment. I deserve all this tension and terror, and I made a silent vow to myself if I'm ever offered a ride from a food or product-shaped vehicle, I will accept it with grace and humility. If I'm ever nominated for an Oscar and the Massengill douchemobile wants to bring me to the Kodak Theater, I will be stepping out of a vinegary sack on wheels to get my prize.
It's fun being a new cat owner, get to buy her stuff. I was on Amazon looking at cat treats. Found the brand of cat treat. There's a bunch of reviews next to it. Saw there was a 1-star review. I was like, ooh. I got to read a 1-star review of a cat treat. This was the entire review. My cat didn't like this. How's that? Guys at his keyboard, I'm gonna keep this lean and mean. My cat didn't like this. I could just see that guy at home. Hey, Pockets, come here. Got some new treats for you to try. What do you think? Oh, you don't like them? Well, don't worry. Daddy will bankrupt the company. What? Just try a different brand? Don't be so petty. You don't be so polite, Pockets. I'm going to crush them. Made the mistake of getting a kitten instead of an adult cat. That's a mistake. She's adorable, but my God, I don't know what I was in for. She attacks me while I'm trying to sleep. It's gotten so bad I've actually checked into hotels. I've checked into the closest hotel in my apartment 3 different times to get some sleep. Probably $5,000 worth of hotel rooms. It's a great check-in, though. You walk in, no bags, bleeding. So you're here for business, sir? No, actually, a kitten attacked me. Oh, where are you coming in from? Look outside. See that building 50 feet away? See that light on the 7th floor? See that kitten in the window? Yeah, the one drinking a glass of rosé. Smoking a cigarette with one of those long holders. Oh, she's holding up a sign. Todd Barry is overrated. Where does a kitty learn that word? It's incomprehensible. Supposed to brush my cat's teeth. That was sprung on me recently by the vet. You got to start brushing her teeth. I was like, okay, I wouldn't have gotten the cat. Just saying, had I known, I wouldn't have considered it for 1 second. But it's too late. I love her. So I went on YouTube looking for tutorials how to brush your cat's teeth. Thought there might be 1 or 2. There's thousands of them. All the same, none of them are helpful. They're all like, here's how you brush your cat's teeth. First, start out with the world's most relaxed cat. You got that? No, I don't got that. Shockingly, I do not have that. Place her carefully on this table specifically designed to examine animals. You can get one at your local veterinary supply store for $6,000. Now take the toothbrush and toothpaste out, watch what happens. Oh my God, she took it from my hand. She's taking the cap off the toothpaste. She's brushing her own teeth. Where'd you get a water pick, baby? She snuck off to Target and bought a water pick. Supposed to schedule playtime with the cat. I don't know you're supposed to do that. I don't want to play with my cat. I'll watch Shark Tank with my cat. We'll call that playing. Come here, baby. Sit on my lap. We're going to play. Scratch, 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 scratch. $500,000 for 2% equity. Yeah, that's bullshit. Yes, bad valuation, baby. Yeah, they better have some sales. The apartment I live in charges me $50 a month because I have a cat. It's like a little spiteful pet fee they have. I remember being in the leasing office, signing a lease. Guy's like, so it's just you in the apartment? Yeah, just me and my cat. Oh, so it's not just you in the apartment. There's also something this big living there? Yeah, she's the size of my toaster. You have a toaster? You gotta come clean with me, my man. All right, I have a couple of spoons also. Okay, we're gonna go 50 for the cat, 30 for the toaster. $8 each for the spoons. I can make that joke last 19 hours if I wanted to. Think of all the objects I didn't mention. They have cat cafes now. Coffee shops with cats roaming around in them. They're great. I went to one in New Orleans. The only thing better going to a cat cafe, going to a cat cafe alone. The only thing better going to a cat cafe alone, showing up and being the only customer at the cat cafe. It was just me and 150 cats. I was just walking around like I was the king. Tell me about the gray one. Seems a bit moody for a domestic short hair. Why is the tabby not playing with the ragamuffin? They should be friends. Let's try your coffee. Mmm, delicious. Coffee always tastes best when you drink it near 7 litter boxes. That's a lot of cat jokes, huh?
I am definitely white trash. I want to tell y'all what I think is the single most white trash thing about me. This is a 100% true story. So my parents got divorced when I was 7, and I know you're like, yeah, we figured. Can't believe they were married at all. But yeah, they were. They got divorced back then, early 90s, rural Tennessee. Parents get divorced. Mama just kind of got custody by default. That's just how it worked, you know. So my mom got custody of us, but my dad was like, okay, but they're going to live with me, though. And the judge was just like, ain't you got a Camaro to work on or something? Just let her have them, bro. Right, but we lived with my dad, and because we lived with my dad, he didn't pay her any child support, because in his eyes, that was and apparently that was is not a formally recognized legal defense for not paying child support, right? You can't just plead that's some bullshit, as it turns out. So my dad accumulated all this debt to the state over the course of his life. When he dies years back, I had to reconcile all that, which I didn't know was a thing, but it is in the right circumstances. For example, if you owe money to the state, it's like everything with money works the same way, really. It's like, you know how, like, if you got a lot of money in the bank will give you more money for having all that money in the bank. But if you ain't got no money in the bank will charge you money for not having no money in the bank, right? It's like everything works that way with money, including inheritance. It's like if you're rich and your parent dies, you're sad, but you got a new lake house or the throne of England or whatever. Like there's upsides to it. You know, but if you're poor and your parent dies, you're poor plus they're poor. And I'm generationally poor, dude. I come from old no money. Right? So I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. My friends see this. They become concerned. They're like, damn, man, who you owe money to? It's like, I got to pay child support, man. They're like, heard that, but I thought you had both your kids. No, not on them, on me. I'm so white trash, I gotta pay my own child support. And the worst part is I can't stand it so much. Always laying around my house, eating up my food, starting fights with my wife, talking shit about me in my own head. He sucks. So I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do, and I finally get a call from the state of Tennessee one day. They're being very helpful. They're like, is there anything we can do to help? Like, are there any assets you can liquidate? And I was like, what? And they're like, is there any you could sell? I was like, oh, yeah. I was like, well, there's the house I grew up in where my Mima still lives. And they're like, that's perfect. So what you do is you sell that house, use the proceeds to pay us off, do with the rest as you see fit. And it all kind of clicked for me in that moment. And I was like, so you're telling me that I need to sell the house I grew up in where my Mima still lives so I can pay y'all my own child support? And she was like, can we call you back? And I got a call a couple hours later from her manager, and he was like, yeah, listen, don't worry about that. We wiped all that out. We took care of it. And that's the first time in my life that I was like, damn, maybe I am white.
It is weird that products are designed now to, like, make us feel certain ways morally. And it's funny because, like, no one knows this, dude. The first company to do this was Stouffer's. They did this years ago. I think I was the only one who noticed. Stouffer's had this thing. It said, let's fix dinner. That was their whole campaign. They didn't do anything. They just put a fact on all their boxes of food. The fact was families who eat together more than 5 nights a week are 50% less likely to have children who abuse drugs and alcohol. That was it. You would just go, yeah, okay, sure. It's got nothing to do with Stouffer's. Like, if your mom's at home microwaving your dinner 5 nights a week, there's a good chance that she does drugs and alcohol, dude.
I'll just get this out of the way. I am aware of my accent as well. I don't need you guys just staring at me, being like, where's it come from? Because that happens every show I do. The first 5 minutes, they won't let me be a person with thoughts. It's just a guessing game. They're like, is it Texas? No. Mississippi? I'm like, don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. I just tell them, Tennessee. I'm from Tennessee. every time, like, oh, you like a redneck? I'm like, absolutely not. It's highly offensive what you just said. Then they're like, you like a hillbilly? I relate. But if you meet an actual hillbilly, you have made a terrible mistake.
And it's really exciting to be able to tell this joke where people understand what a garage refrigerator is. It's wonderful, okay? Because I live in Los Angeles right now. And when I talk about having a garage refrigerator to a Los Angeles audience, all they hear is 2 refrigerators. Someone must have grown up a billionaire. And I have to correct him. I'm like, oh no, you don't understand what a garage refrigerator means for most of the United States. A garage refrigerator simply means you finally got a new refrigerator. And then you said, don't throw the broken one away. That's for weird shit now. That's for things that should get cold, but if they don't, that's still okay. That's for things we don't want around the everyday milk and eggs, you know? That's for more loose deer meat in a Ziploc. That's what we're gonna put out in the garage refrigerator. Stuff from your neighbor, that goes in the garage refrigerator. You know what I mean? Your neighbor Jerry shows up, he's like, you want to eat meat? Nah, I shot him. Like, you wrecked your car, Jerry, you hit that meat, I know that. That's hit meat.
Saw this commercial the other day for these chips. Nor in the commercial they tell you how good the chips taste. The whole commercial was to tell you that the bag is now easier to open. That's all they talked about in the whole, that the bag is easier to open than it used to be. I didn't even know that was like, have I just been super strong? My whole life, because I'll tell you right now, open a bag of chips, that's nothing to me. Anytime I want chips, I'm just like, chips.
Where do you find the low-income whites of this great country of ours? 2 words, Waffle House. Waffle House seems to be a headquarters for the low-income whites. Or if you're in the middle of the country, it's called a Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrels are just upscale Waffle Houses. We're in Nashville. You have Waffle Houses and Cracker Barrels. Can you say sweet spot? What's your mindset when you go to a Cracker Barrel? I want the unhealthiest food sold in public, but I still want to impulse buy a rocking chair. Where can I do it? Does such a place exist? It does. It's called the Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrels are closing. Sorry, whites. Sorry, whites. Cracker Barrels are closing. Sorry, whites. I'm sorry, whites. But so are Red Lobsters. Sorry, blacks. Sorry, blacks. I'm sorry, blacks. That joke works better if there's more blacks in the room. Maybe someday, right, Nashville?
Every summer, my friends and I, we would go to the fair, go to the Midway. I'm sure you probably know, on the Midway, there's a sort of notoriously janky haunted house, right? So every year, my friends and I would go into this horrible, dilapidated haunted house, and we would roast it. You know what I'm saying? Just 4 boys criticizing the lighting, the set design, the acting, you know, real bad boy shit. So yeah, it was our senior year. It was like one of those high school movies. It's kind of bittersweet. We were like, we're all going to different colleges. This might be the last time we roast this haunted house together. We gotta savor this moment. And we walk in, and they go way faster than me. So I'm by myself, just criticizing left and right. and I turn a corner, and this guy dressed up as a werewolf gives the worst performance you've ever seen in your life. He jumps out. This is legit. He was just like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, come on, dude. I was like looking at him through the holes in his mask. I was like, that was the worst werewolf I've ever seen. And I've been to a lot of these, okay? You really got to step it up. That was pathetic. And he f***ed me up. Like, it was crazy. He threw me against the wall. He's punching me in the ribs, slamming my head against the wall. Like, you know, and you never expect that from a werewolf. I was getting beaten up, and people were walking by. I was begging people, passersby, get this werewolf off of me. Please help me. Help me. I'm really getting hurt. Help me. No one would help me. And it took me so long before I realized, of course, no one's helping me. Because they're turning the corner, and they're just like, damn, they really stepped it up this year. That looked like a real werewolf attack. That little girl was really, really crying.
I'm expected in my 40s to have a lot more money than I actually do. The advertisers assume you've got money to spare. They kind of know what year you're from, so they're like, hey, remember when you were a kid and you had a Nintendo and you gave it up and you got a Sega Genesis? Well, similarly, it's time to hop out of that Mercedes and squeeze into a new BMW. You're in your 40s, and I'm like, please, calm down, please. I have a bus pass on me, and I know it has $14 on it because I'm using it. I have a reckless nightlife lifestyle. I eat junk food, I'm up late, I drink a lot. I'm here with all of you tonight. What do you think we're doing tonight? This is what it's like for me every night, okay? If I want to feel seen, I need advertisements that sound like they're for a luxury car commercial, but it's actually just for just junk food. Introducing the all-new Doritos D25i. A luxury snacking experience unlike any other in the impulse aisle. Expertly crafted with bespoke spices, xanthan gum sourced in the Alps mountains, and a sodium salt power of 150% of your recommended daily allowance. The Doritos D25i, with a surprisingly crunchy exterior and a sassy, vitamin-rich interior. It'll have you reevaluating what is possible in a snacking chip experience. Drop into your Southern California Dorito dealer for a test taste today. Thanks. Yeah. I'm ready to sell out. I've got the voice for it.
Hey, did you know that Botox was originally being invented to help people with cerebral palsy? It's a pretty cool thing, man. They were developing it. They were trying to find a way so that they could inject the muscles so that wouldn't do that. Well, but then somewhere along the way, they discovered that Botox also makes wrinkles go away. And then they were like, well, cerebral palsy. We could really be helping people. God forbid you had a crowfoot. The guy with the twisty arm can wait. I love that joke, man. Because I'm sure you can feel that weird vibe that kind of rolls across the room. What that is that's just all the people with Botox trying to frown. I guess all joking aside, what I want to know is, does he look younger? No crow feet on that.
My wife cooks, is what I'm telling you. And I'm the snack man, all right? I love snacks. I love choosing snacks. I like offering snacks. I like eating snacks. I like all snacks. I do have a favorite snack. I do think the top snack in the world is popcorn. Popcorn's number one. It is on top, in my opinion, because of its versatility. First of all, you can do anything with popcorn. Whatever mood you're in, popcorn's got you covered, right? You can put cheese on it, caramel. You take a left into Savory Town, or you can drive down the road to Sweetville. Popcorn's riding shotgun the whole time. You don't even have to eat it. You can put it on a string for a wedding in a trailer park. I believe that popcorn is so good that it's the reason why we all have microwaves. Because they're not good at anything else. General Electric should be digging up Orville Redenbacher and kissing him on the lips every weekend. He sold every microwave in rotation today. If you think I'm lying, go look at a microwave. What does the top left button say? Yeah, it says popcorn, all right? It's above the numbers. Do you understand? They're like, don't do math, that's for burritos. We know why you're here. Microwave popcorn was incredible. It changed the game. And I think the reason why microwave popcorn was so successful is because some people in this audience may be old enough to remember what it was like to make popcorn at home before the microwave. Yeah, it was like cooking meth. It was insane. It was quite literally the most dangerous thing you could do on a residential property. Parents would be like, get the kids out of the kitchen, I'm making popcorn out here. Turn their faces away from the oil. By the way, I'm pretty sure our insurance doesn't cover this, so if anything goes wrong, I was baking a pie, a corn pie. You all saw me. But we were willing to do it because popcorn's incredible. Now, I know there are people that disagree with me. They say, Ivan, popcorn can't be number one because it gets stuck in your teeth. And yes, it does get stuck in your teeth, and that feels bad, but that bad feeling is offset by how good it feels when you finally get it out of there. So popcorn, back on top, number one. In fact, now I love that it gets stuck in your teeth because now you've just postponed a good feeling for later on. And who among us couldn't use that in these dark, uncertain times? Think about it. Eat a bowl of popcorn, you watch your favorite movie, everything's going great, but then the movie's too long. You stayed up too late, it's a work night. Oh no. I don't have time to brush my teeth. I gotta go right to bed. So you go to bed, you put your phone away, turn the light out. Now the only light left in the room is your digital clock. Why do you still have one? You don't know, but there it is. Floating in the dark, taunting you with how little sleep you're gonna get. If only you couldn't do math at this hour, but you can. Your brain keeps running the numbers and it keeps coming up short. And for some reason, this wakes you up more. I don't know why our minds do this. They're like, I am not gonna get enough sleep. How can I sleep at a time like this? I better stay as awake as possible and rapidly categorize all possible future failings. And as your thoughts begin to collide with the jagged edge of tomorrow's responsibilities, your tongue begins to explore the crevices of your teeth. And all of a sudden you make contact with that old familiar kernel skin lodged in your back molar. You forgot it was there. Now it's all you can focus on. And you wish for a second that your tongue had an ounce more dexterity. Oh, if only I could come at it from another angle, but you can't. All you can do is push feebly on it in the same direction you already tried 30 times prior. You think, I'll get my finger involved. Finger is the master of dexterity. Finger will help. Finger can't help. Finger can't even find it. It's hopelessly lost. Keep touching it with the end of your tongue. It's right there, finger. Next, you try to help your stupid finger by counting your own teeth. Like a lunatic. How many do I even have? Okay, it's 3 back. Go, finger, go! But this doesn't work. You have to abandon your dumb hand altogether. Just when you think all hope is lost, just when you're dangling over the event horizon of permanent despair, you reach down deep and give it one more push. What the hell, why not? But this time it's different. This time it moves a little bit. New hope springs eternal. You give it a couple more pushes and it flies free. Oh, do you spit it out? Not yet. First, it's time for a tiny celebration inside your mouth. First thing you do is put the kernel skin onto the end of your tongue like a little hat. And Then you slide it in between your top and bottom front teeth and give it a bunch of tiny, tiny bites. As it disintegrates, you receive a rush of serotonin and dopamine that is better than drugs. What other snack does that?
Second kid loves trucks. Very into the trucks. He's a veritable truck nut, you might call him. Really into trucks. And he doesn't have the language to explain to us how much he is into trucks. So he does something, I can only describe it as worshipful. The term adulation comes to mind. He'll see a truck and he'll go, ah! Ah! And if the truck moves, he'll move with it. Ah! Oh, you are my new God! I worship thee, truck! So we're like, Jesus, this kid loves trucks. Let's get him trucks. We got him all sorts of little toy trucks, and he'll sit and he'll play with them for hours, you know? On the carpet, it's just a little boy playing with his trucks, and it's beautiful. It's a Norman Rockwell painting. But it's also so heteronormative. Yeah, and it's 2023, and you're talking to a pretty woke-ass dad. Yeah, he might be into trucks now, but what if 6 months from now, he wants to have tea parties or dress up as a princess? Meanwhile, Dad's been shoving trucks down his throat since day one, like the patriarchy would, goddamn. I was like, I gotta diversify this kid's toy portfolio. I'm gonna get him a doll baby. He can play with the doll baby. He can play with the trucks. He'll learn that Dada loves him regardless. So I'm at Target looking for a doll baby for my truck-loving son. And I think when I thought about this transaction, which I didn't, not even once, but I imagine, if I pictured myself picturing it, I imagine myself just buying a white doll baby, because that's how much of a problem I am. And I'm walking through that aisle at Target, it's the United Colors of Benetton. They got black doll babies, they got Asian doll babies, Hispanic doll babies, Native American doll babies, and I just start going down the rabbit hole. I'm like, oh, of course you just think they only have white doll babies, you straight white piece of shit. You're the problem with this country. I'm just like this Ouroboros of liberal guilt spinning out in the Target aisle. I'm just like, what kind of doll would Rachel Maddow buy? I don't want to do the wrong thing. I just want to be a good dad. So I decided I would get him a black girl doll baby. That's a voice that's very underrepresented in our society, I feel. It's certainly a voice that's underrepresented in my all-white household. So I got him a black girl doll baby. Her name's Gabby, and he loves her. Yeah, he loves her. And he reacts to her as if she were a truck. Oh, yeah. He sees her across the room, he's like, Gabby! And just goon walks over to her, starts hugging her, rocking with her, and then he just starts petting her hair. As hard as he can, he just starts petting her hair. Which, if you've ever met a black woman in your entire life, you know the one thing you should never do, under any circumstances, is touch her hair. Especially as a white man. That is rule number one, non-starter. Do not touch a black woman's hair. And I'm worried that in my sincere desire to be an enlightened parent, I've reverse engineered the most socially tone-deaf white man of all time. Of all time. Like 20 years from now, my son's gonna be driving down the street, see a black woman with beautiful hair, and be like, oh my God, and just like Tokyo drift his F-350 across the intersection. Just run up to her, it's like, your hair, I gotta touch it. she'll be like, what the f*** is wrong with you? And he's like, no, it's cool, we're good. I had a doll baby growing up, so we're good, we're okay. She'll be like, we're not good at all. It's condescending. It's possessive. My hair is not yours to touch. You need to back the up. My son will be like, I'm hearing you. And I want you to know that you are, in fact, heard. But do you think we can table this for just like 5 minutes? I just saw the coolest cement mixer.
My name's Alex. I'm from Boston. I'm from Boston. I go home every year for Thanksgiving. Really looking forward to it this year. Last year was weird because last Thanksgiving I came out to my family. I'm not gay. I just thought it would be hilarious. I have an uncle who doesn't like gay people, and because of that, I've actually come out of the closet on Thanksgiving every Thanksgiving for the last 4 years. And they say that coming out is like the hardest thing that a young person can do, and it is, but it gets easier every single year. Here's how I do it. I stand up with a glass of water and a knife, like I'm giving a toast at a wedding. And I go, excuse me, everyone. I have an announcement to make. And then my uncle goes, oh, for Christ's sake, again! And I release the doves. I do my musical number. I throw the glitter. It's part of the meal now. Do you know what I mean? It's part of Thanksgiving. It's part of the ritual of Thanksgiving. It's part of the people expect it. Like the turkey comes out, the potatoes come out, I come out. And I thought about not doing it this year because my grandfather came to Thanksgiving for the first time in a decade, and no one has told him about my little joke because he's 88 and he doesn't do surprises. Do you know how some older folks just do not do surprise? Like, my grandfather hates surprises. It's not even like an old person thing. He's always had surprises. And it goes back to, like, the first time he was surprised. He was 16, and he was asleep on this boat in Pearl Harbor. And since then... he doesn't like surprises or sushi, and we leave him alone. And I thought about not doing it, but as soon as it was announced on the family WhatsApp that he was coming, all of my cousins texted like, are you gonna do it this year? And I'm like, you bet your butt I'm gonna do it this year. And my brother was like, backup dancers? I was like, not this year. Just me. If you want to know how it went down, here's how it went down. We're all sat around the table. It's me, my family, my grandfather, and my best friend from college, Michael. He had nowhere to go this year for Thanksgiving, so I invited him. And as I stand up with a glass of water and the knife, I realize he has no idea what's about to happen. And the look on his face is pure confusion. But I'm on a mission, so I'm like, excuse me, everyone. Excuse me, everyone. My uncle's head drops. Excuse me, everyone. I have an announcement. Michael and I have an announcement to make. And everyone looks at my grandfather. Everyone, except for Michael, who's excused himself to make a phone call real quick. Everyone looks at my grandfather, and my grandfather crosses his arms, and he looks around the table, and real loud, he just goes, I've known since he was 9 years old.
Last year for spring break, we did Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Been to Gatlinburg? If you've never been, let me tell you about it, all right? Gatlinburg is an American Indian word. It means land of the couples that wear matching airbrush t-shirts. I don't know if that's accurate, but it's accurate. And they always pick the same design, too. This is what it looks like. It's a silhouette of a much skinnier couple than the people who are wearing the t-shirts. And on the shirt, this couple, they're holding hands. They're in love, you guys. Their feet are in the sand. They're under a palm tree. There's a rainbow sunset on what is clearly the ocean in the background. Then they just write Gatlinburg across the top so that you know which of the islands in the Smoky Mountains that they visited, right? They're not smart people. But it's great for people watching. If you like to people watch, this is your spot, okay? I don't know if you enjoy it or not, but man, there's no better hobby. It's free. You know, you just sit there with someone you love and talk about the trash walking by for a couple hours, right? Gatlinburg is prime pickings. I mean, there's not that much white trash in a dumpster behind a paper plate factory. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's special. I love people watching so much, I take pictures when I do it and trade them with my friends like they're baseball cards. Now, if you're into something like that, let me just give you a tip. Make sure that the flash and the sound on your phone are turned off, which I know sounds like a no-brainer. Guys, I've been doing this a long time. I messed up, bad. I'm in line for security at the airport. I'm going this way. Coming at me is a gentleman, Hawaiian shirt, shaved face, but out of the top of his shirt was this perm, I don't know the right, a tuft. It was the brightest, whitest, bushiest chest hair I've ever seen in my life. And I've been to Sarasota. This was next level, dude. It was teased, possibly bleached. He looked like a Build-A-Bear whose neck had been slit to send a message to the other Build-A-Bears to pick it up because numbers are down, right? And I knew if I didn't get a picture of him, I wasn't going to be able to sleep that night. But here's the rub. I couldn't do it from this distance and this angle. No one's going to see how awesome it is. If I want some likes, I got to time it so that when he's passing by, I can get that side view, you know, the profile. So to do that, I have a face I make. It's very simple. The only thing I'm trying to convey with this face is what? I'm just checking Twitter, even though my phone's kind of pointed in your general direction. He stops right here. I hit the button. It's like, blick, flash. I was like, there's a Pokemon on your shoulder, sir. Just hold on. We'll get it. Just be careful, okay? The other tip, if you're going to take pictures while you people watch, is to make sure that you have a full battery. Charge up. Because that's what happened to me in Gatlinburg when I went to go people watching. I was at my favorite spot to do it there, which is the old-fashioned candy kitchen. I love that place because no matter what time of day you show up, you're going to see the same thing. There's going to be a hillbilly pressed up against the window who can't figure out how they're making taffy on the other side of the window, and it's the greatest day of their life. They're just like, what? Nuh-uh. Hey, come look. Come look. It's where they make it. The taffy for Cracker Barrel. Yes, right here. I don't know how they do it, even though I can see the whole process. This is... I saw her standing there a block away. The Mickey Mantle rookie card of people watching. I got so excited, I was like, I've heard about you. Oh, you are coming home with me. Easy, girl. Easy, girl. I'm not going to hurt you. Got close enough to take the picture, press the button, just a dead battery sign. What? No! I scared her. She ran back into her. Please believe it or not. Believe it or not. And I just sat down on the bench right there in between the Pancake Pantry and Fanny Farkle's arcade. I was so mad. You know, all this time I tracked her. I just let her get away. I wish I could pull up a picture so you could see how awesome she was, but I can't because I was careless. So I'll just describe her as best I can. She had early 1990s hair. Remember that look? Pulled back tight in a ponytail, but in the front. In today's news, that thing defied all logic and gravity. And I always wondered how that was formed, you know? Because I always only ever saw the finished product. And then I showed up too early for homecoming one year. And there she was in front of the big mirror. So that was that lady's hair, okay? She was so perfect. She looked like someone that might frequent a Long John Silver's / Kentucky Fried Chicken, a 2-in-1 fast food restaurant. You ever go to one of those places? Another great spot for people watching. I don't know what it is, but the average redneck brain cannot process that there are two businesses operating behind one counter and sharing the menu space above. And the first time they see it, it just catches them off guard. They're like, okay, could I get a... Okay, what happened here? Am I in a food court? Like, what? I want chicken. I can order from both of them. It's the same company. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Wow. Okay, well, I'm getting a family meal deal. I get 2 sides. Could I get a side from this side and then a side from that side? I can? Okay. Well, extra biscuits. I knew that before I came in here. And... what does Long John Silver's have? Hush puppies. Ooh, can I do that? 2 breads? I can? Oh, yeah. Let's go there. And I was wondering, like, what is the big thing here, you know? Because I know that you think I'm joking just for the sake of doing comedy. I'm not, okay? Sit by the register in one of these 2-in-1 fast food spots. 10 minutes tops, you'll hear a sentence that has never been formed in the history of words. It's because there's too many options and people aren't prepared and they get up there and then a line forms behind them and they get nervous and they're like, do green beans go with tacos? Like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's the best. It really is the best. If you're going to do it, and I recommend you do it, just make sure half of wherever you go is Long John Silver's because that is the place that brings them out, okay? At any Long John Silver's, you will hear a grown man ask for extra crumbs, which I feel is just a new low for our society. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Long John Silver's is a fast food seafood restaurant. And what they do is they take chicken and fish and they dip it in a batter and then they put it in the fryer. And when they flip it out of the fryer, little pieces of that batter break off. And then a pile of all those little pieces form. And then people go, hey man, can I get a scoop of the stuff that thing's been laying on? You can put some of that in my treasure chest. And when I heard it, I was like, did that guy just ask for more crumbs? She pushes a button on the register. Boop, crumbs, 10 cents. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. What? How often does this happen? I mean, I thought I could be witnessing the first time in the history of Long John Silver's where some guy's like, I'm so embarrassed to tell you this, but I'm a little short on cash. I got a long drive ahead of me. I'm so hungry. Could you just, I don't know, put some of that stuff into a cup? I could snack on it. No. It happens so much. It has been programmed into the register. Think about that. If whatever you want to call that stuff has its own button, which I'm pretty sure we'll all agree was not in their original business plan. That tells me there was a day that something happened. At some Long John Silver somewhere, something happened to bring us to where we are. And as a people watcher, I'm just sad I wasn't there to see it. Because I pictured it in my head 1,000 times, right? Some toothless manager just comes storming out of the back. Hey! Somebody's gonna have to start paying for these crunchies, all right? I can't be giving this stuff away. I mean, if everybody's gonna ask for it, we gotta figure something out, all right? I don't know how to make it. It's an accident. Y'all just love free stuff. That's why we got rid of tartar sauce pumps and switched to packets. 2 per customer. Y'all were just pumping it right into your boats. Nobody needs that much tartar sauce. Nobody. I'm sick of it. And he tries to slam that door, but it's that metal kitchen door, right? Now you can just hear him in the back. I ain't settling down, Ricky. I'm sick of this. They don't pay me to put up with it. I'm so mad my hand's shaking. I'm supposed to bowl tonight. Now what? I'm done. I said it before, but I mean it this time. I'm done. You watch. As soon as I can afford that lift kit and them Luke Bryan tickets, you ain't ever gonna see me again. I'm out. Well, of course I'm going. Florida-Georgia line's opening. I ain't gonna miss that show. They're the only two dudes that even settle me down right now. You do that? All right. Well, then you take the Nelly part. You make me want to roll my window. Look, you're kind. You're very kind. All we just learned is that I've thought way too much about an incident at a Long John Silver's that probably never happened.
Yes, my name is Ismo and I am from Finland. Woohoo! Yay! Woohoo! I grew up speaking Finnish. It's very, very common in Finland. And I did learn English back then. I learned English, they teach English there, but when I moved here, I learned that it's not the same English that you have. The English here, it's different. I think the biggest difference is there's so many of these things here in America. These, when you shorten a thing down to just a few letters. I think it's called acronym. Like there's so many of those, like FBI, YMCA, KFC, like so many of those. And I've noticed that people here seem to assume that every single person knows the meaning of every single one of these acronyms. Even people who moved here like 4 hours ago. From day one I moved here, people just say to me things like, yeah, I'm going through TSA at JFK. You want a PBJ? I have a PhD and I take CBD for my ADD. And I'm like, what the hell are you saying? What is this English? I thought I know this language. Because they teach English in school in Finland, but they mostly teach words. Remember those? I know so many words, but not these acronym things. Because even official papers here assume that you know these things. I moved here, I had to fill out a form. First line on that form, D-O-B. No explanation. Just D-O-B, empty space. Now I know it's date of birth, but back then I was like, this could be anything. Dead on the beach. No. Then I did my first show at a comedy club in America, and the club said that, hey, you have to fill out a W-9. And I was like, what is that? And he said, it's a form for the IRS. Well, what is that? And then he said, you shouldn't say that. Don't say that. You should say WTF. And I was like, what is that? Because back home in Finland, we just don't use these acronyms that much. Like now we have a little bit more, but when I was growing up there, we had two. We had only two. UFO, HIV. The only two. And I don't think we even realized that they were shortened from something. Like we didn't pronounce them like UFO. We just said UFO. And we still say it like that. We still do it. It's faster. But here it's everywhere, and people assume that. Turns out, even in Canada, I went to Vancouver, Canada, first time ever. Immediately when I arrived there, people asked me that, hey, have you ever before done a show in BC? And I was like, you mean more than 2,000 years ago? I don't think so, no. I was so young.
I like gas stations too. I grew up with country stores though. And country stores aren't just in the South, they're all throughout the country. But country stores are different, just the whole setup. It's usually, you can't see inside of country stores because the windows are covered with Newport signs. There's usually only 4 pumps and it's just one rail, you know? And there's usually only one person working in country stores, and her name's Tammy, usually. You know, y'all know Tammy. She's a healthy built woman, 5'10", 5'11". One of the best pitchers the county's ever seen, you know? We all know Tammy. She's got bleach blonde hair that goes down to the middle of her back, and her roots meet about halfway to that. And for some reason, all Tammys are the same. They love wearing Looney Tunes shirts. Like Tweety Bird or the Tasmanian Devil. They're the very few species left who rock those shirts. But Tammy loves a good Tasmanian Devil t-shirt. And Tammy never wears a bra, and she should. Tammys are notorious for having hammers, okay? She should have a bra on. I'm trying to get gas on pump 4, and the Tasmanian Devil is just spinning. And I'm like, listen, Tammy, you know, you call me baby one more time and it's on, you know? Because Tammys have a way of saying baby, and it wears on you in a weird way, you know? What you need, baby? You hungry, baby? You hungry, baby? Come here, baby. What you been doing, baby? And about the 7th baby, you're like, well, maybe. You know what I mean? I mean, damn, there's something about this, you know? Because then I start kind of picturing, I'm back at her trailer. She puts on that wolf shirt where he's kind of yelling at the moon. Y'all have seen it. She gets out a real long cigarette, you know? She's gonna beat me up, you know? Y'all know Tammy, you know? I tell you, Tammys usually wear like denim shorts, and they're not really in anymore, but Tammy wears the hell out of them. And she wears those white laced tennis shoes from Walmart that you get. They're the white ones, and hers are dirty as hell. And they're not supposed to be slip-ons, but Tammy's made them both slip-ons. You can tell when she turns around because nobody needs lotion like Tammy's heels. Yeah, I mean, there's grass in those cracks. You ought to see it. Seems like some of y'all met a Tammy or two.
I'll take it somewhere a little bit lighter right now. Any cat owners in the room? Do we have any cat owners? Yeah, give it up for cat. Here's the thing. I recently became a cat dad, guys. I am a proud cat dad. And like, I never liked cats. My whole life, I never liked cats. I was always a dog person. Grew up with pet dogs. Thought I'd always be a dog person. But a stray cat showed up in my backyard one day, and I was like, whatever, fine, I'll take care of you. And I love the cat so much. I mean, she has taught me so much about the world. But if I was to say the main lesson my cat has taught me, it's just how good it is to be hot. Because she's like a really cute cat. When I saw her in my backyard, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start giving her free stuff. I'm going to start... Who knows? Maybe if I give her enough free stuff, she might even let me start touching her. I don't know. Meanwhile, there's all these possums and raccoons in my backyard. I'm on the phone with animal control like, hey, can you guys come kill these ugly animals in my backyard? They're trying to get into the free stuff I'm giving my cat for doing literally nothing different other than being more attractive than them. And I want them dead.
So we had guinea pigs growing up, and we kept them in our garage, and in the hot Ohio summers, they absolutely died in there. And my sister reminded me, we named one of the pigs Brownie, which in retrospect is extra sad. She was out there straight bacon at 375. And my mom felt awful, okay? So she let us give him a proper burial in the backyard. And me and my sisters took those hard-bodied pigs, not like ripped, but like rigor mortis hard, and we buried him in the easiest place to dig. We put him right in the sandbox. And then a couple of neighborhood dogs came along, snarfed him right up. It was a tragedy all around. And I really feel like it could have been avoided if we just had a dad. I don't know what dads do, but I assume it's regulate the garage temp. They're always in there, tinkering around, planning their escape. No, my dad didn't escape as much as he was asked to leave. Escorted off the premises. Some of you know this about my dad. When I was little, he moved down to Orlando, Florida to become an actor, which is not where you go. He did land a few gigs. He was an extra in the television series of Swamp Thing. He was a truck driver in that. And that's it. And they took things into his own hands, started his own business, and now he's in the sign spinning biz. He calls it live roadside commercials or character directionals. He likes to devise a character and then present it to the cars. He's a leprechaun in front of this Irish pub called the Kerryman, for example, and the rest of his characters are available on his website. So we grew up, around a lot of costumes, like thrifting and going to Ray's Circus of Value and stuff. For example, like he loves a morph suit. You know what those are? It's like what Olympic speed skaters wear, but there's like no hole cut for your face. So you're just like in a single Lycra suit, just one color, head to toe, no skin showing. He wears an orange one in front of the Orange Julius. It doesn't rain that often in Orlando, and he called me one time after a shift. He said there was a sudden downpour and I almost waterboarded myself. I was like, I couldn't breathe, it was stuck to my face, my fingers are covered, the zipper's on the back of my head, I nearly died. I was like, I had to get into the car, I was so embarrassed. I was like, it's only embarrassing when it's wet? Or
Any Chinese people in the crowd? Any Chinese? 中国人吗？你们是中国人吗？你是中国人吗？
I'm from Australia, mate.
Oh, you're from Australia, okay. 我说中文你会听得懂吗？
一点点。
一点点，哇，挺好。那我跟你说中文，你如果跟我说中文，没关系。你父母是哪里的？
中国人。
哦，中国人，中国哪里？
上海。
哦，上海，哇，挺好，哇。
谢谢。
Don't worry, they get uncomfortable. The crowd get uncomfortable because I'm prepared for the future and they are not, so it's difficult. Also, can you please verify that I was actually speaking Chinese? Because I know some people are like, oh my God, I saw the most racist thing yesterday. This white guy was on stage, he was like, any Chinese people? And then he chung-chung-ching this guy at the second table. I was like, fuck, cancel this guy already. Like, oh my God. Cancel him, seriously.
Yeah, it is. It's weird having a food allergy because people on weird diets all try to recruit you when they find out. They're like my brother was a vegan for a while. He's like, dude, you got to go plant-based. He almost had me. I do like the idea of not hurting animals. I was like, that is pretty compelling. But I have a problem where I always see both sides of things. So I also kind of dig the idea of killing a creature and absorbing its powers by eating its flesh. So now I have to go to Whole Foods. If you have a food allergy, you have to go to Whole Foods. They have all the stuff you need. It's annoying because it's all so expensive. The food there is just ridiculous. And it's also like a culture shock to go from a normal Philadelphia grocery store to Whole Foods. You go to Whole Foods, everyone's all like, ah, they're all peppy and like, well, hey, what's up, man? I'm used to regular cashiers at an Acme. Just ladies just fucking slumped and defeated, dude. Just a grandmom with two big wrist guards on their arms, slugging a deer park, ugh! Just wiping tears off the belt. That's what I'm talking about. You go into Whole Foods, they pick up every item. They're like, oh, what's this? I never had this before. It's like, of course you haven't. You're a cashier. You can't afford this shit. Get the fuck in the bag. Everything there is expensive, dude. Everything at Whole Foods is super expensive. And the reason why, it's kind of a weird reason. Like, every product at Whole Foods is designed to make you feel like you're a good person. Like, everything. You pick up a bag of sugar, it's like 2% of the proceeds of the sugar go towards some kid in a fucked up country. The kid is so sad. He's having such a bad life, and his mom's mean to him, too. And if you buy the sugar, we'll give him some shoes, maybe. And you're like, oh, that's nice. I get all invested. I'm like, my boy's out there. And you fill your cart with all this stuff. You're like, dude, I am a good guy. And then you go check out and you see the sales tax. And you're like, that goes towards bombs for that same kid. Dang it. Shoot. It does. But then I bright-sided. I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll get the shoes first. That'd be nice, you know? Like, pilot flies away from decimating a village. Like, you see the moccasins on that kid? Holy shit. It's nice to know there's good people in the world doing important work.
I read somewhere that the most marked up bottle of wine on a restaurant's wine list is the second cheapest. Reason they do that is gal be on a date, too embarrassed to buy the cheapest wine, picks the second cheapest, and gets destroyed. Probably the best thing I've ever read in my entire life. It's like, who can we screw over here at the restaurant? How about a guy looking for love who's also on a budget? That's why I hired you, PJ. You're an idea man. See, this bottle of Pinot Noir costs us $1.50. Let's go $600 on this one. But I love cooking shows and shows about travel and stuff like that. I was actually on the Seth Meyers show once, years ago, and the other guest was Anthony Bourdain. I got to meet him real briefly, and I'm glad it was a brief meeting because I don't want to be backstage trading road stories with Anthony Bourdain. His would be like, yeah, I remember once I was in South America, got bitten by a snake while I was trying to eat its small intestine. Oh, yeah, I was once at a Hampton Inn in Little Rock. And they ran out of Captain Crunch at the breakfast buffet. I get it. Poor guy must have had annoying fans when you're a travel and food expert. People running up to you on the street, hey, Anthony, here's the deal. I'm going to Malaysia, and I love turkey burgers. Anthony, best Rice Krispie treat in Paraguay. Let's hear it. Anthony, I'm going to Dusseldorf and I love empanadas. I need your top 5. I like that show, Chopped. That's a great show. 4 chefs compete for a $10,000 prize. My favorite part about that show is none of the chefs have a realistic grasp of what you can buy for $10,000. I was like, Chef, what are you going to do if you win the $10,000? Well, I've always wanted to travel around the world for a year. Flying first class everywhere. Oh, you can do that for another $1.3 million. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to fly first class to Cleveland. Take a megabus to Columbus. Fly back premium economy from Columbus with a 5-hour layover in Cleveland. Then you're out of money. Chef, what are you going to do if you win $10,000? Well, I have 6 brothers. I'd love to buy them each a Rolls Royce. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to buy 3 decent skateboards. Then you make a little sign-up sheet your brothers can take turns. Chef, what are you going to do if you win the $10,000? I think it'd be great to buy my mom a house. That'd be the greatest. Buying your mom a sweet $10,000 house. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to buy yourself an updated food processor. Then the best wooden spoon. Then you can make your mom some dip, and she can enjoy it in the house she currently lives in. Not the $10,000 before taxes dream house. Also known as a $3,000 house. Also known as a used minivan. It's fun being a comedian, work at night, have all day to have some weird days. Had a weird day recently, went to the podiatrist, then I adopted a kitten. That was my to-do list for a Tuesday. It was great. I was at the podiatrist's office, stretched out, looking down at my little toes. I was like, oh, I can't imagine anything cuter than that. 40 minutes later, holy shit, what was I thinking? Finally found something cuter than my little toes. Little baby kitty cat.
I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I made it through the summer without getting poison ivy, and I know, that's a big deal for me. I don't know what that plant looks like. Like, their hints are not very good. Like, leaves of 3, let it be. Oh, thanks for the poem, but it didn't work. This thing has the word poison in it. Is that how we're handling poisons now? Rhymes. When it comes to nerve gas, say, I pass. It's not... I've been out there in the forest and those leaves bunch up. I can't count them. I don't know if that's 9 leaves of 3 or 1 leaf of 27. So what I decided is no more nature. No more nature. Here's my poem. If it's a plant, I can't. In any event, stay on the cement. That's how I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna start treating vegetation like I treat snakes, all bad. But Greg, it's a garter snake. Well, it looks like a snake. Like, I don't know what the word garter means, but if I see a garter mountain lion, I'm leaving. Greg, it's harmless. It's not harmless. It already made me drop my Starbucks. It has done harm. Harm was done. Venti harm was done. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I don't know poison ivy. I'm trying to learn, though. I learned this. They use it for medicinal purposes. They use an extract of poison ivy to treat joint pain. That sounds like something my dad would come up with. Like, Dad, I itch all over. Yeah, you do, but you're not thinking about your knee anymore, are you? There's a snake rhyme. You guys know about this? There's these 2 snakes. They look the same. They have the same colors, but they're arranged differently, and one of them is venomous. So to tell them apart, they have this rhyme. Red touches black, friend of Jack. Red touches yellow, kills a fellow. Kills a fellow? Fellows aren't supposed to be killed. Fellows are in like barber shop quartets. It's for he's a jolly good fellow, not he got murdered by a snake. Here's a better snake rhyme. No snakes. If you're out there in the woods and you see a snake, don't stand still and recite poetry, because somewhere between kills a fellow and friend of Jack, you're gonna get what snake experts call bit. It's not... Snakes are horrible. They're terrible. Did you know this? If you cut a snake's head off, it can still bite you for up to 4 hours. That is true. And it's the same for clowns. Like, no, listen, no. If you see a clown head rolling around, you stay away. Like, you get, like, you don't know, it might be a garter clown, but there's no rhyme. It's not like if his nose is red, you're dead. It's not. I don't know poison ivy. I don't know trees. That's embarrassing. Our house is the one with the big maple in the front yard. You can't miss it. I can miss it. I'm gonna miss it. Here's the trees I know. Christmas. That's it. That's the only one. And that one's gonna have lights on it for me to get it. Just give me your address. That would be a better system. That's why they have that system. Like, don't tell me about architecture. That's not gonna help either. It's the colonial house. Well, it better have a guy with a triangle hat and a musket marching back and forth. It's the stucco house. Stucco? What is stucco? Sounds like a clown that can't get out of stuff. You're like, oh no, don't go in there, stucco. You're too big. You're not gonna fit, stucco. You wear size 76 shoes, stucco. All right, I've been up here for a while. I better get to it. I know why you guys came. Let's talk about Walgreens. It's an important issue. It's a complex issue, but there's a lot of sides, you know. I mean, on one hand, you got to give it up. There are a lot of Walgreens. Like, there's several Walgreens. I mean, you're always close. I mean, it's very convenient. Also, they're open late. But I've noticed after about 9 o'clock, they're just kind of open. You ever walk into Walgreens like 11:30 and the lights are on and the doors are unlocked and there's not one human being visible? It's upsetting. It feels like something horrible happened right before I got there. Like what? Did a cheetah get loose in here or something? Did CBS attack him? Eventually you'll hear, I'm back here. Well, don't be, okay? Be up here. You're a business. You're supposed to have an up here guy at all times. That's what sets you apart from an abandoned warehouse, Walgreens. Also, when you said I'm back here, you startled me. I'm too old to ever want to be startled again, especially in an empty Walgreens in the middle of the night. Next time, maybe you could just jump out from behind the Pringles in a hockey goalie mask. That'll be fun. If you need something done back there so bad, why don't you just hire another guy? Right now, you have exactly one more employee than a vending machine. It's not a good look. You're the number 27 company in the Fortune 500 and you have one guy. There's a lemonade stand in my neighborhood, 2 girls. They have double the employees as Walgreens. And listen, like, if you're working anywhere now, at Walgreens anywhere, thank you. I mean, I appreciate you working. But let's face it, if you're the late night worker at Walgreens, you're not first string. Like, you're not their best guy, okay? And you're a little weird. That's why they put you on nights. And they know that. That's why they shouldn't make you do stuff back there. They should give you 2 simple jobs. Number 1, stand next to the register. Number 2, wear some article of clothing that says the word Walgreens on it. Because when I walk in, I want to know you're the guy that works at Walgreens, not the guy that just shot the guy that works at Walgreens. Another thing. If you're a thief, if anybody in here is like a shoplifter, or you steal, I mean, I can see a couple of you. I can see it. I wasn't going to call you out, sir, but I mean, if you're a thief and you go to Walgreens at 11:30 at night and there's not one human being visible, take a couple of things. Like, just take some stuff. That's how we're going to get a permanent up here guy, is if you dirtbags start stealing late, they will staff up. Now, listen to me. Stealing is wrong. It's bad. If you don't steal, don't start. I'm just saying, if you happen to steal from Walgreens during the day, could you go a little bit later? Like that, it's going to be better for you. You're going to get way more stuff, honestly. It's trick or treat in there after 11. Like, nobody's watching. And if you get in trouble, you're fine. Go in front of the judge and say, Your Honor, I walked in, there was not one human being visible. How was I supposed to know it was a store? It felt more like a place where you just take stuff. You know that take a penny, leave a penny thing? It felt like that, except for you take a lot of stuff and you leave it. You leave. You just leave. You leave. They're not good at night. I mean, they're better during the day. They're not killing it, but they're better. They're better. You go during the day, there's gonna be an up here guy. Okay, there's gonna be somebody next to the register, but one somebody. Okay, that line could get to like 7 people, still one. It's got to get to like 11, then they go, Chuck, we need you to come up front. Wait a minute, you had an extra guy back there the whole time? Now I'm angry. Okay, Chuck, when you do go up front, I better see you hustle. Okay, you better sprint to the front. And when you get up there, you better act like you're sorry for what you did to everybody in this line. Just get right to work. Scan, 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 no chit-chat. Scan, 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 no chit-chat. Matter of fact, if you're a customer at Walgreens and you get to the front of the line, no chit-chat from you either. You can talk to the cashier, but business conversation only. This goes mostly for you old guys, okay? I know that's the highlight of your day, sir. I know you've been waiting to get in there all morning and chat it up with the cashier. But we don't want to hear it, right? You think we're going to get in the rain tonight, Lily? Shut up, old man. Shut up, we're not retired back here. Just get to your business talk. We know you have business talk because there's never been one old guy that got to the front of the line at Walgreens and did not have some sort of a price discrepancy. Every time. $1.25 for a Snicker bar. The circular said 18 cents. The circular? The circular from 1756 might have said that price, sir. Also, when you walk into Walgreens, they have shopping carts. No. I have met your employees, and they cannot handle that kind of volume, right? Like, I have seen them struggle with 2 items. Now we're going to encourage people to get 54. That's a bad idea. Everybody in this room knows the unwritten rule at Walgreens, whatever you can hold in your hand, that's how much you can buy. If you need more, you turn around, you go to Target. That's a Target trip. You don't bring a Target trip to Walgreens. And God forbid an old person gets their hands on one of those carts, they'll have to shut it down. Sorry guys, Walgreens is closed. Mort got a cart. Now listen, I think you guys are looking at me like, well, this guy hates Walgreens. I don't. I love Walgreens. That's why I'm so hard on them. I mean, that's my pharmacy. I've been going to the same Walgreens my whole life, and I think they're good. I think they're better than CVS. Close, but I think they're better than CVS. And you guys are probably like, wait a minute, Greg. You said Walgreens has 1 employee. How could they be better than CVS? CVS has 1 employee for every 5 stores. That's how they do it. So, where's the checker? He's in Chillicothe right now. Like, he's just not... He'll just wait. He'll be here. Show some patience. No, hey, listen, when I'm talking about Walgreens, I'm not talking about the pharmacy. I'm talking about regular Walgreens. Like, I don't think that's the same company. Like, I bet you the regular Walgreens workers are not allowed to talk to the pharmacy people. Like, yeah, don't look at them. They're better than us. Don't look at them. I bet you every now and then the regular Walgreens manager tries to go in and tell the pharmacy people to do something like, hey guys, I was thinking today, maybe shut up, Ted, you got no jurisdiction here. Go sell pretzels. We're going to heal the sick. I mean, Walgreens has good stuff. I mean it. Like, they're open on Christmas, 24 hours. I have never missed one Christmas at Walgreens. Like, Greg, did you go to midnight mass? No, I went to 11:30 Walgreens. Here's what I do, okay? I have a tradition. Every Christmas Eve, I wrap gifts, and I get sick of it real quick. And I go to Walgreens, and I buy a bunch of those holiday gift bags. You know what I'm talking about? It's their perfect way to say, hey, I want to spend money on you, but not time or effort, okay? Here's what I'm going to do with your gift. I'm going to throw it in a bag. I'm going to crinkle up some garbage and put it on top so we can't see what's in there for 13 seconds, and then we're going to pretend like I wrapped that gift. That gift is about as wrapped as bubble gum under a desk. It's not wrapped. My dad uses holiday gift bags, sorta. When he buys your gift at the store, they put it in a bag, and that's what you're getting on Christmas morning. And it's going to have a couple of his items in the bottom that he forgot to take out. You're like, oh, foot powder, Dad, thanks. Give me that. My grandma, Nano was the greatest gift wrapper in history. She wrapped our gifts in maps. Isn't that cool? Like, yeah, I wish I would have saved them. My grandma worked for the Defense Department in mapping. She did, and she would bring these maps home from the office I don't know if she was supposed to do that, but she did, and it was great because I was like, oh, your grandma has wrapping paper with Snoopy's and Santa Clauses? That's cute. My grandma trusted me with strategic bombing locations in mainland China.
It is cool. My wife's a black woman. She can say like whatever she wants. Total freedom of speech. It's awesome. But she'll drag me into conversations where I have to be like, hey, I don't know if you know this, but white guys are kind of on house arrest right now. You go ahead. Yeah, black women can say whatever they want, except for Whoopi Goldberg for some reason. They're on Whoopi's ass, man. It annoys me. She would apologize recently for using the word gypped. Yeah, she would apologize to the American gypsy community. She had to burn 30 seconds of primetime TV to say sorry to 4 toothless carnies. No, man, my wife will just like drag me into these conversations where I'm like, I don't know how to respond, man. It's like I invited her on a double date not too long ago. And it was like a kind of a weird situation. It was my friend, he's a white guy, who just started dating this black chick, which first of all, I'm kind of like, that's my thing. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. And then it's like, you don't want to go on a double interracial date. Single date's perfect, just like you guys, like, we're saving the world, we're so tolerant. Once you're in like a double interracial date, now you're like enthusiasts or something. It's just swirling a glass like we like what we like. You know, it's weird. But I told my wife the situation. I'm like, come on, man, we should go. You know, we haven't been doing anything. Let's go on the date. My wife was like, what kind of black is she? It's like, level 2. I don't fucking know, man. I can't possibly answer this. I learn about a lot of white stereotypes too. Being with, I hear stuff I'm not supposed to hear. There's a lot of weirdly specific stereotypes about white people you guys probably have no idea about. I always like walk in on conversations where I hear them and I'm kind of like. I just opened my door. I walked in on one recently. I opened my door. My wife was talking to her aunt on speakerphone. It's a cultural thing. And I opened my door. I opened my door. It's a custom. Be respectful. And I just opened the door to her aunt being like, you know, white people don't care about their grandparents. And I was like, ah, damn it, dude. That one's true. That hurts. I didn't know anyone knew about that. How the hell did they know? It's true. My mom calls me every like 5 months. She's like, you know your great aunt Bridie died. And I'm like, Mom, she's like, you have to go. I'm like, oh, fuck, all right. I have to go literally ID the body at the funeral. I go and I'm like, oh, that lady. I hate funerals. Then you have to like try to like talk to a dead person in your head. It's always, I just panic. I don't know what to say. I just rattle off some Ice-T would say on NCIS. I'm like, crime doesn't pay, you punk, and I didn't want But yeah, so it's fun though, man. It's cool, you know, being in a relationship like that. I get like having a black wife is a confidence booster sometimes. Certain situations, it like, dude, like customer service disputes, bro. Black ladies are like the Navy SEALs of customer service, dude. It's crazy. I'm first wave, I'm the scout. I go up, I'm like, hey, I noticed our flight's delayed. Do you know how long that's gonna be by chance? And like, sir, shut the up, dude. Sit the down. I'm like, all right. I always give him another chance. I'm like, are you sure? You'll never guess who's following me up, dude. I just tell, I'm like, it was that lady right there. She comes back 5 minutes later with like a $50 gift card. She's like, we're taking off, throw it on the pile. Yeah, it's not all fun and games, man. We do deal with stuff. We still have a race problem in this country, you know? A lot of perceptual stuff, you know? Like, there's just, like, sometimes you will just be looked at differently, and it is what it is. Like, here's the thing. I bought us a pair of matching sweatpants from Walmart. I thought it'd be funny. It's not. Nobody likes it, but They're these like patterned, weird-looking sweatpants, and like we still have them. So sometimes like laundry just works out the way we're just out of stuff, and we both wear them. We don't even think about it. We'll be out like running errands in our matching sweatpants, and we'll be like arguing in the electronics department at a Target, and I'll see the people looking at us who work there, and I know they're thinking we're one of those crackhead couples. I know what they're thinking. They think, you know, those couples that like walk along the side of the highway together. Just visibly bound in failure for all to see. Just, you know, those guys? They always make me laugh. I'm like, why the highway? What the hell? Checking Google Maps. Like I said, it's going to take 5 days and 4 hours. We're going to take the turnpike. Come on. I love those guys. It's like the heroin Oregon Trail. You see them out there, you're like, God damn. Prospectors. You see their sweatpants catch the wind. You're like, oh my God, it's beautiful. Yeah, we argue. It sucks. I hate arguing with my wife. I wish we didn't, but we do. We've been together for so long, it's like embarrassing at this point, you know? Because we don't even have anything to argue about. Our arguments are like, they're like abstract. They're like philosophical battles at this point. They don't even, it's like, my house is like ancient Greece, dude, when we argue. Like my wife, it's like stupid stuff. Like I'll be downstairs, she's like, hey, make sure you load the dishwasher before you go to bed tonight. And my brain does that thing where it's like, delete. Control-Alt-Delete. I don't do it on purpose. My mind's just like, this other thing's more important, and I hate that I do that. But then the next morning, you know, it all crashes down on me. She's like, why didn't you load the dishwasher? And I'm like, I forgot. She's like, how did you forget? And I'm like, you want me to explain the absence of thought? It's a logical fallacy, and I won't. We argue over the toilet seat. That's so embarrassing. I hate that, man. Just so stupid and cliche that, you know. But yeah, she all the time. And dude, I'll put it down. I don't care. I'll put it down. Sometimes I forget. You know, and I'm like, all I'm asking you is just fucking gently lower it. Don't slam it like an asshole. Just put it down. It's not the end of the world. And I'm like, what's the worst thing that could happen by it being up? She's like, I could fall in there at nighttime. Like, what do you run to the bathroom ass first and jump? What the f? So now I do. I put it down every time, but I also put that little one too. I put that down like, f you. I drop that down, and I pee on it a little. You can't win arguments with women, man. They'll just destroy you. It's their game. You think you win, they'll wait like 3 weeks and just f***ing lance you. It'll be like 3 weeks later, and she'll be like, what's up with your teeth? What do you mean? She's like, oh, never mind. I'm like, what the f***? They'll get you with their celebrity crushes. That hurts, man. Stop doing that, man. That hurts us. We were watching the movie Fury. Did you ever see Fury? World War II movie, Brad Pitt, Army tanks, awesome movie. We're having a good time. We're enjoying it. Halfway through, Brad Pitt pops out of an army tank. He just like won a battle. He's like, yeah. His shirt's ripped. I'm like, yeah, how does a shirt get ripped inside of a tank? But I'm not ruining it for her, so I'm quiet. He pops out of the tank. You can see like his stomach. My wife didn't even say anything. She just went, Now I'm watching a whole different movie. I'm rooting for the Nazis now. I'm Googling shit. I'm like, yeah, the economy was pretty up. No one wants to talk about it.
I wrote a joke a long time ago to try to shame myself into getting better shape, and it didn't take. I look exactly the same. I feel like I look okay from the front. I still feel good about my front profile look. Not as happy with the side. And for a long time, I didn't know what I looked like from the side. And then somebody took a picture of me when I was not wearing a shirt or sucking in my gut or aware that cameras were present. And that was a real eye-opener. That's when I realized that from the front, I look like a dude who lifts weights. From the side, I look like a dude who shouldn't because it's probably bad for the baby. It's a little rough in the middle. Part of the problem is I do work out, but I don't work out very hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like to go to hardcore gyms. I'm never gonna be a CrossFit guy. I'm more of a YMCA guy. 'Cause I feel good about myself there. Right? I'm a realist. A lot of happiness in life has to do with putting yourself in favorable matchup situations. If I go to Gold's Gym or somewhere, I'm average at best. Right? YMCA, I dominate. My favorite gym I've ever worked out at was this old YMCA in Santa Monica, California. Nothing had been renovated there for probably 40 years, including most of the other members. It was like a nursing home gym. Those seniors respected my feats of strength. And they came from a classier generation that's quick to compliment, and I like all of that very, very much. Like a random ego stroke. One time I was doing the tricep press down, and this little old lady, Connie, was patiently waiting her turn like a decent person. And then when she went to use the machine, she forgot to move the pin to a lighter weight, and she just kind of struggled for quite some time. And then she figured out what happened, and she turned to me and she goes, "My goodness, you just lifted that. Well, aren't you strong? I couldn't even move it." And I thought that was adorable. I also thought, of course you couldn't move it, Connie. Look at yourself. Like 90 pounds, old bird bones, paper mache. Are you kidding me, Con? I'm pre-gaming on creatine, whey protein shakes. You look like you're getting ready on hard candy and formaldehyde. Why don't you look at that fan, Connie? Look at it. I turn that fan to high, you're stuck to that wall. This is my gym, Connie! Part of the problem, it's not being in great shape, is my nutrition program. It's not great. I live in a house full of a lot of mixed nutritional signals. My wife, she says she wants me to eat better, my wife Lindsay, but I don't necessarily believe it. Because her actions don't go along with her words. She'll say she wants me to eat healthier, but then she bakes me delicious treats. Because she loves me through food. I think it's competing instincts inside of her. Part of her does want me to, eat really well so I can live a long time and she doesn't have to die alone. But another part of her wants to fatten me up just enough so that no other woman will ever want me. Because that makes her feel secure and safe. But she'll do this ridiculous thing where she'll make my favorite treat. Like she'll make me chocolate chip cookies with like little walnut chunks, and then I'll start to eat them and she'll be like, "Dan, what are you doing? How many of those are you going to have today?" I was going for all of them. I'm sorry, I thought these were delicious cookies. I didn't realize you had baked me shame biscuits and guilt wafers.
We wound up, we got a cat. We didn't get a cat. House came with a cat. We were just there. There's a cat. Yeah, it was out. We weren't even sure the cat was real at first because it was up. Look at it. There was some real Pet Cemetery action. Covered scrub brush and just it's missing some ear. Had like David Bowie eyes, What are you looking at? Everything? Nothing? What's going on with you? It always just appear from around structures at first. There's always one of these. It took us about 6 weeks before we admitted to each other that we saw a cat. I remember she said at first, like, "You see a cat out there?" I'm like, "You see it too? All right, thank God." I was getting nervous. I thought we had hobgoblins. I don't know. I'm new to the Pacific Northwest. I don't know what's going out there. Everything's just fog and ferns. I don't know what's crambling around underneath there. So the cat seemed like it was like friendly. It wasn't like friendly, but it was like hanging around us enough. And so we're like, well, maybe it belongs to somebody, so we should find out before we start messing with it or feeding it. So we took some pictures of it, and we went door to door to see if it belonged to anybody. Also, probably a short-sighted idea on our part. It's, pandemic, global, social distance. Hey, here's the new childless, out-of-state people going door to door like, "Is this your cat?" And people are like, "Get the f*** away from my family." Yeah, you're right. Yeah. The old guy next door answered the door, but the chain's still on the door. He was just like, "Oh, that cat? That's nobody's cat now." That cat belonged to the earth. Yeah. That cat come up from the soil when the sun go down. and just roams amongst the mist, just eating dreams and out nightmares. That's what they got. Man, just say it's not your cat, old man, all right? I don't have time for folklore. I got other neighbors to harass. We found out from another neighbor that cat had actually been like a neighborhood stray cat for about 16 years. That's how far back they can remember. This is a stray cat that for 16 years has just been living on the streets of this neighborhood, working off the goodwill of the place. So we're like, this is our cat. We're taking this cat in. So we got the cat to come inside. This is our cat. We named it as much as you can name a cat, let alone one that's been doing its own thing for 16 years. It's mostly just for reference between us, you know. So at first we were calling it Helen. We thought it was blind and deaf. So we were calling it Helen. You know what? I didn't name it that. My girlfriend named it that. So you're not mad at me. You're mad at her. And yeah, I will throw her under the bus. Yeah. All's fair, babe. She was calling it Helen. I was calling it Dirt Nap. That's how I was calling the cat. On account that it sleep all the time and was filthy, but also it looked deceased more often than not. That cat looked like it had perished many times. Like, oh, cats sleep weird, but like draped over a curb under a car tire, just with its eyes open, looking at nothing. I walked up to it with a shovel more than once. It was like, well, this is a sad day, and it would just run off. I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at you, you little crisis actor. You got an agenda, and I don't know what it is, and that's what I like about you. You're mysterious. A little cross-eyed ghoul. Yeah, Dirt Nap, Little Dirty, Little D. We'll be calling her Little D for the rest of the story. Also be referring to her as she and a her. We thought it was a female cat. Turned out it was a neutered male, but we didn't find that out until later. So Jenny Nooch for gender neutral is the name for some of the time. And then for special occasions, we call her Miss America. And by special occasions, just when you could say something truthful that it's more funny when you could be like, man, Miss America on the couch again. And if you can time that out right for when like a new mom is walking by an open window, they're already against us, so maybe as well just feed them. What are they doing to that future beauty queen in there? We got this cat, and we brought it in. We're like, we're gonna give this thing the best sunset years we can give it. You know, we're gonna pamper it. First, we took it to the vet, make sure it's all dialed in. We took it to the vet. And right away, the vet was just like, oh, it's got a thyroid issue. It's thyroid. It's got bad thyroid. It's got to be on a special diet, very special. That's a prescription diet. There's prescription cat food out there. Why? Who's trying to get the cat food that's not, okay, man, hook me up. Hook me up with that Hill's prescription, man. Like 5 cats in a trench coat rolling in, like, hello, we're here to pick up from Mr. Meowser's. Trying to make that cat meth, dog. Come on, man, come on. It's a prescription. You can only get it from me. It's $70 a bag. I'm like, all right, you know what, man? I know it was middle pandemic, and I was all about the doctors and the scientists, but the veterinarians, I just think some of them, they know they got that giant gray area of your lack of knowledge that they can abuse about the animal camp. Like if you go to a doctor and you're like, my ankle hurts, and they're like, could be an ear infection. You're like, well, you're bad at your job. But you go to a veterinarian with this animal that you love but can't communicate with, and you're like, oh, what's wrong with my best friend, my little guy here? They can just say anything like, it's the alternator. And you're just like, yeah, I get. You know what? That makes sense because his eyes were dimming in the morning. His eyes were dimming. That's a 2003 Calico with a lot of miles. Those are city miles. I thought the timing belt was going to go first, but okay, yeah. That makes sense. What are we running on those, huh? 1,500. No, okay. That's with labor? All right, yeah. Hey, listen, hey, real quick on the side. Say we do this in cash. You got like a similar model out back that like you can part out or ethical reason. Sure, no, say no more, say no more. No, nobody's Frankenstein here. Nobody's Frankenstein. So you just gotta believe him, you know? So I come home with a $70 bag of bullshit one day. I open the door, I can see out to the patio. Lil D's outside, she's playing with a bird. Bird's dead. She's just slapping it against the house. Playing's also a real generous term to describe. She is playing the same way like inmates play handball. It's not for fun, you know? That's just maintenance in case shit goes down. That's all. The only thing missing from Little D at that point was like a cigarette behind her good ear and a teardrop tattoo. Just bitching about not making parole. Like, they got me doing the full 12, man. Ooh, if I get out of here and see that judge, you're gonna see me right back in here. And I could tell it was a fresh kill, because she was about 6 feet out and getting a good return on her. And so I come in with this food, just shaking it like, Lil D, I'm gonna save your life, look at this. And she looks up, because she can hear. It's selective, but she can hear. And she looks up, she knows it's food. She looks at the food, and then she looks at me and just puts it together. She's like, oh, you're gonna want me to eat that? Watch this. And then she just ate the bird. Just, like at me, like maintained eye contact, but ate the bird. And I know cats eat birds, but I was not ready. Like, I assumed it was gonna be messy, but with strategy. That's what I thought. Like, it's a whole bird. I thought it was gonna be like brutal, but you know, with technique, getting to the soft part. Like the same way, like we've all had that night where we just get a rotisserie chicken just for yourself. Those nights you get home, like, close the blinds, I'm going elbows deep on this bitch. Like those kind of. That's what I thought I would have seen. What I saw and was not prepared for was the full-on David Blaine street magic disappearing act that she did on this bird. Just gone. Entire thing disappeared. One Forrest Gump feather just floating down for effect. Still looking at me like, what? Where did it? Is it in my pocket? Oh my God. Is it just gonna be alive over here? That is, what you did is something I gotta call this vet back. And I rang him up right then and there like, yeah, hey doc, I don't know if you got a plan B for this whole thyroid thing, but Lil D been out in these streets just consuming her own enemies for the better part of a decade and a half. So if you got some alternatives, I'm all ears right now. And that's when the vet on the phone, he's like, oh, chicken baby food's totally acceptable for a thyroid issue, too. You can feed her chicken baby food. I'm like, oh, chicken baby food. Oh, the that's 50 cents a jar? You could have led with that, you fucking quack. So that's my life now when I'm not on the road. I'm just buying racks of chicken baby food. I'm just buying full, just cases of chicken baby food. And every morning that I'm at home, I gotta wake up and I gotta heat up a little jar of chicken baby food. Because now that we're an indoor cat, we got particular about temperature. So I gotta heat up this little jar of chicken baby food. And I throw up through my nose a little bit, just And we feed this to our human babies. You women are savages. I do that, and then I go, and then I clean out the litter pan, because these are the things you have to do when you let vermin live in your house. I go, and to get through the litter pan part, I just squat over it and pretend that I'm just an optimistic prospector, and this is my lucky day, because it's the only way to get through sifting through that, is to sit there and be like, oh, I got a good feeling, that's a big one. That one's pure gold, me and Ma don't have to live on the front. That's a poop, okay, all right. Oh, look at this one coming down the street. Woo, boy, I'd take that to the bank. I'll buy the bank with that. That's just a piss fritter. All right, well, third time's a charm. I'll take silver at this point. Anything to get me out of the dusty old wet. That's a poop, too. I think this creek done run dry. That's just a fun thing to do for me, because you got to be creative with your chores.
You know, mothers are truly incredible. She's on top of everything before it's ever a problem. She told me this. She's like, I got this app. I want to be ready when our boys start using a computer. I'm like, they're 9 months old and 3 years old. Do we need this? She's like, we need this. She's like, this app will let us know any website they visit, even if they delete something in their search history. I'm like, do we need this? She pushes a button, up pops up a bunch of adult sites, recently visited on her home computer. And my wife was mad, very mad. And I was like, let me talk to them. These kids are disgusting.
I miss sarcasm. I feel like people on the East Coast are a lot more sarcastic than they are out here. You guys have a good sense of humor, but it's not the same. I look for it in people. I remember when we were moving out of our last apartment into our new apartment, my wife goes to the movers, which are just 3 giant Russian guys. She goes, we need to be out of this place and into our new place in 3 hours. Could we do that? What do you think about that? That's how much money we have. And one of the Russian guys goes to the other Russian guy. He goes, 3 hours. Maybe if magic happens. And I was like, good. That is good. I love knowing that guy has maybe 6 phrases in his back pocket to survive in a new country. And one of them is, maybe if a magic were to happen.
You know, a big thing a lot of people are looking for is how to get out of jury duty. I figured out what works for me. Just be myself. Just be honest. I got called in for jury duty years ago down in Los Angeles, and I was frustrated because I had a bunch of tour dates. I was going to miss them. You know, the trial would have been long, so I sent in a little letter asking to be dismissed, and they didn't care. And they made me come in there, so I'm pretty irritated when I get there. I'm worried about getting stuck on this long, trial. Had nothing to worry about. Turns out all I had to do was just, be myself, honestly answer their questions. And they wanted nothing to do with me. When I got there, I figured out you can ask for another form to be dismissed. And the last question on that form is super direct. It just says, do you think you would make a fair juror? And I was just honest, and I wrote, no. I'm a comic. I get paid to make quick judgments and stick to them, and that's probably what I'm going to do in your court. Which is kind of true. I kind of trust my gut, and I thought that would get me dismissed. No, it didn't. I get stuck in a little jury selection pool. Now the defense attorney is asking me questions in front of the defendant, which is always awkward that he's in the room. We're just talking about him like he's not there. And the judge told us this guy had just served, 4 years for the attempted murder. He's just been released for the attempted murder of a rival gang member. Now he's being charged with murdering a different rival gang member. So in my head, I'm like, great, I'm in a room with somebody definitely getting better at murder. And I thought that because when I saw him, I thought, yeah, he did it. For sure, that's a murderer right there. I thought he was guilty the second I saw him. I still do to this day. I'll tell you why. He had a lot of gang tattoos covering about half his face. Face, that's a commitment. To have gang tattoos. Not just tattoos, gang tattoos. Probably half. Half his face covered in gang tattoos. And look, I do realize having gang tattoos all over your face does not make you a murderer. Unless you're charged with murder. Then it absolutely probably does. The defense attorney, he read my answer to that last question about, making quick judgments. And I wrote that as a comic, so I think he thought I was joking. And he goes, have you made any judgments here so far? And I was not joking, and I go, yeah. I think he did it. It was so uncomfortable, I had to point at him as he stared back at me. With his tattooed murder face, probably memorizing features. And he says, you can't know that. You've heard literally no evidence. And I just said, look at his face. Everybody thinks he did it. And when I said that, I heard some snickering from the other potential jurors. I looked over, I counted at least 2 little sneaky thumbs up. They wanted to show their support, but not get in trouble with the judge. I had a hot crowd. I was killing in the courtroom. I wanted to put on a good show. And he says if the police or if the prosecution doesn't provide enough evidence to prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, you have to find him not guilty. That's his words. You have to. And I just said, no, I don't. I don't have to. I make bad decisions all the time. I could make one here. And he said that would be illegal, and I got nervous. Because I watch a lot of crime shows, but I still don't fully understand what contempt of court means. But I felt like I was treading in that direction. And then I thought, well, you've come this far, let's write it out. I was like, I don't know, maybe it is illegal. You're a lawyer. You know the law better than I do. But I'll tell you this. Just like bad decisions, I do illegal stuff all the time, and I usually get away with it. I was texting about how much I didn't want to be here the whole time I drove here today, and no one pulled me over, did they? And he just shook his head, talked to the judge, and 2 minutes later, I was walking to my car, a free man. The truth had set me free.
But yeah, a little older. But I keep saying I'm getting older. I'm not that old though, but sometimes I wonder like what the world's gonna be like when like millennials and Gen Z are like the senior citizens. I just think it's gonna be funny. Because like we're not gonna change. It's just gonna be hilarious. Just a bunch of 90-year-olds walking around with IVs like, my NFT is lit. Like, people listening to music like, put on WAP. It's just gonna be a new type of old person. It's gonna be funny. You know? And the world's gonna have to adapt to cater to old millennials. It's gonna be funny. Like, in 50 years, you might see commercials like, it's a cane and a selfie stick. If you call right now, we'll give you 9 free sticks. People will still be talking about each other's social media. Like, you see the picture Sarah posted wishing Brad a happy birthday? She doesn't care it's his birthday. She's just showing off her new hip. Very transparent. We all know why you posted that. I think my least favorite thing about social media is like that narcissism of it. People just will post anything just to show themselves off. People love getting likes. People just love getting likes. I don't even think people would do certain things if they couldn't post about it. Like, I think if social media ceased to exist, I think there would be a 30% drop in marathon participation. Like, everyone in their 20s would be like, well, now what's the point in running? I can't post a photo of myself at the finish line drinking a craft beer. To show everyone I'm as fun as I am fit. I get it though, you like attention for your accomplishments. So it feels good when like you do something good and like people know about it. That feels good, you know? So I think it actually would have been kind of annoying to maybe like do something impressive before technology and social media, because it would take people a while. It's like if I invented something right now, I could like repost something and I know everyone would see it, and that would make me feel good. It feels good. But if it was like 1930, and I was the one who just invented Scotch tape. Pretty big deal. I bet I would run into people I know before they caught wind of my accomplishment. I'd just be standing there like, they don't know how amazing. I feel like I would just be steering every conversation towards tape so I could bring it up and impress them. I'd be insufferable. I'd be on a first date. She'd be like, I feel like we're really bonding. I'd be like, I know. It's like some sort of adhesive. What do you want to drink? I'm gonna get a Scotch. I just get there early, rip her menu in half. She sits down, she's like, that's weird. I'm like, I actually have something. I mean, like, if I climbed Mount Everest before social media, I'd want everyone to know, but I want to brag about it. I'd just be finding terrible segues. People come up to me like, hi. I'd be like, you want to know what's hi? People love likes. You can learn stuff from likes, though, you know, like, I was talking to a girl recently, she was like, I wish I knew which guys wanted to hook up with me. I wish they would just tell me. And I was like, you just defined an Instagram like. Like, what are you talking about? If a guy likes your photo, he doesn't care about the photo. If a guy likes it, he's just reminding you he would have sex with you. That's all. A like on your photo just means still alive, still would. That's all it means. Guys don't care about the photo. I'm not sitting there like, oh, perfect filter for that burrata. Oh, God, sick boomerang. No. I don't like following women on Instagram, mostly just because pictures of hot women upset me. Some guys follow these like models on Instagram, and they're always showing, what? They're always showing me like, dude, check out this chick. I'm like, no, I'm having a good day. Why would I want to see something amazing that I'll never have? That's torture. If I was allergic to dairy, I wouldn't follow a cheesecake account just to keep tabs on what I'm missing out on.
Also, first job, I was a teacher. That's what I did. And first job, I lied to get a job because there were no phys ed jobs. And that completely backfired. They made me teach grade 12 history. I know, I didn't even take grade 12 history when I was in high school. So I'm teaching it, and I'm like the 10th smartest person in the class. That's not good. Awful. No idea what I was doing. Had never taken history in my life. I had to go home every night, read the chapters myself first to learn everything. Then I'd come in and teach it. That's how the whole year was. I'd even assign the homework like this every night. All right, tonight for homework, I'd like you to read chapters 1 to 3, okay? And then stop reading, all right? Don't go reading ahead. Coming in asking questions tomorrow on stuff I haven't learned yet. That's a no-no. We don't do that. Because that's what the smart kids would do. Every day I had this kid, Duncan. Every day he had a new question. Sir, what happened to the Mayan civilization? What chapter's that, Duncan? 15. What are you, a loser? You read the whole book already? I couldn't call him a loser. I could think it. But that's the thing, right? Teachers don't know the answer. We don't admit it. I never said, I don't know. I'd lie. Throw it back on the kids. That was my trick. Oh, is that right, Duncan? Huh. So you think I'm just going to spoon feed you the answers all year, do you? No, that's not how I teach, kids. So thanks to Duncan, I would like the rest of you to go home tonight and look up what happened to whatever he's mumbling about at the back. That was my whole year. It's horrible. I'd have Duncan come up and write the question on the board in big letters. Because I needed to see how he spelled Mayan so I could Google it later myself. Thank God for Google. When you can't spell something, at the top it says, did you mean this word, idiot? Thank you, Google Master. It was horrible. Then you had to come in the next day, take up the homework. Oh, I still don't know what happened to the Mayan civilization. Kids have their hand up. I'm like, put your hand down, Dave. You got a 30 average. I'm not gambling on your answer. Can't ask a kid with a 30 average. I don't know if he's right or wrong. He's going to give an answer. I'm just going to be like this. That's a good. Let's see what someone smarter than you thinks. That's how I had to. Lorraine, can you tell us what happened to the Mayan civilization? And then whatever she would say, I would vote. How many people agree with that answer? There you go, Duncan. That's exactly what happened right there. There's a whole year of that. One kid smoked pot every day. Unbelievable. Pot. This kid would smoke it every morning, 9 o'clock, first period. Walk in stoned every day like I'm stupid. I can't tell you're stoned. It's 12th grade. You stick out like a sore thumb. Teachers aren't idiots. Then I thought about it. I think the only grade that kids could have smoked up before class and walked in without getting caught was kindergarten. That's the only grade. Think about it. You could have smoked up all you want before kindergarten. Stormed into class. No one would know. It took everybody an hour and a half to get their coat and boots off. You smoke up all you want. You'd be taking forever to get your boots off. So would everybody else. You'd be like, God, everybody's smoked up today. Look at this. Who's the dealer? Imagine being stoned at the age of 4. That would be hilarious. Trying to get that piece of crap $8 snowsuit off. Remember this thing from Kmart? Had one zipper. Started at your forehead. Couldn't breathe for the first 3 minutes of the day. Got stuck 15 times. You're stoned out of your mind, walking around going, God, it's hot. It's hot. It's June. Why am I wearing a snowsuit? This pot is screwing up my ability to recognize the seasons. What kind of crap zipper was that? One zipper. When only the left leg came out, remember? It started up here, wrapped around a couple times, in case it wasn't on tight enough, we'll wrap it up. And then only the left leg, that's how it was made. People making it were like, let the little potheads figure it out. We don't need 2 zippers. So you're stoned out of your mind and you can't get it off. You're like, I can't get the right leg out. And you're dragging around your snowsuit. You think it's a dead body because of the pot. You're like, well, there's a dead body. You're getting tired. That's a great grade to be stoned. Miss, I'm tired. When's our nap? Oh. Did I miss snack time? I'm starving. I'm so hungry.
I'm feeling good and I'm feeling chill. And that's huge for me. That's been my goal for a while now. I've been trying to make myself feel more chill, which is a cooler way of saying I was recently put on mood stabilizers. Thank you. Thank you so much. I don't know what they do scientifically. My psychiatrist says the goal is to turn my moods into vibes. So I'm just kind of vibing out 24/7, doctor's orders. Mood stabilizers are great. I know they work because like the first or second week I started taking them, my wife and I, we went to Joshua Tree in California. I don't know if anyone here has been to Joshua Tree, but it's a dog shit town in the middle of the desert. Our last night in Joshua Tree, I looked at my wife and I was like, babe, it's our last night here. I'm gonna splurge a little. I'm gonna get takeout from the best restaurant in Joshua Tree. So I did a little research on Yelp, drove into town, got takeout from this beautiful little Italian restaurant they have there called Domino's Pizza. So I walk into this Domino's, there's already a man in line. So I stand behind him, I sort of nod at him, indicating I'm chill now. Take your time. And this man is just staring at the menu for so long. In his defense, there are 6 things. So he was overwhelmed by the menu. And eventually he looked at the young woman behind the counter and he went, excuse me, miss, do you guys make margarita style? And the young woman behind the counter, she was like, no, I'm sorry, we don't serve alcohol here. And this guy is so condescending, he was like, no, margarita style. That's how we eat pizza on the East Coast. And I was like, hatred confirmed, you know? And this girl, she's trying her best. She goes, okay, well, can you tell me what margarita style pizza is? Because maybe I can make something similar for you. And he went, oh, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And it didn't stop there. They just kept talking. It was like 6 or 7 more minutes of these 2 morons trying to figure out what he thinks margarita-style pizza might be, hypothetically. And what he ended up ordering was so insane. He ordered a large Pacific Supreme pizza with pineapple, okay? Crazy, especially when I tell you it does not come with pineapple. He added pineapple. Because in his head, he was like, I think that's what makes it margarita style, you know? But I handled it really well. I really kept it together. All I did was every 30 or 40 seconds, I would just take a deep breath and go, just the most passive-aggressive sigh you've ever heard in your life. But for me, that's growth. Do you know what I'm saying? I hate to think what would have happened in that Domino's if I went in there unmedicated. Like the moment he added pineapple to his pizza, I would have been like, mm-hmm. And I would have walked over to the door and locked it, you know? And then just held the Domino's hostage. I would have put a pizza slicer to his neck, waited for police to arrive, and then I make the police negotiator tell this guy through the window that he just wants a cheese pizza. That's all he wants. He wants a cheese pizza with a little basil on top. He's too stupid to know he wants a cheese pizza. So anyway, I'm chill now. It feels great. I'm back. I work in television. I watch a lot of television. I think I have a pretty refined taste in television, actually. I mostly watch a channel called A&E, which stands for Arts and Entertainment. It's very classy. My favorite show on A&E, maybe my favorite show of all time, is a TV show called Intervention. Okay? If you haven't seen Intervention, how do I describe it? Well, it's basically a prank show. And the way it works is a production company descends on some awful little town, and they are looking for a huge drug addict, right? And they find a drug addict, and they go up to him, and they're like, hey, man, we heard you're pretty good at taking drugs. And he's like, pretty good, I'm the best. Yeah, I'm incredible, it's all I do. And they're like, awesome. Well, I mean, would you ever consider getting high on camera? And he's like, it would be an honor. And then for the first 40 minutes of every episode of Intervention, they just follow this guy around as he gets so high on camera, like incredible. Like every episode of Intervention, there is a moment where you're like, this guy is a pro. Like I have never been this high. In the third act, that's when things get real, right? The third act, the guy's comfortable doing drugs on camera. He's friends with the crew. And the main producer comes up to him and he's like, hey, so I don't know if you're open to this. It's just a pitch, but have you ever gotten like super high in a hotel conference room? And the addict's like, no, but that sounds dope. Let's do it. I'm down, right? And he walks into the hotel conference room all proud of himself, and then boom, it's all his friends and family. They hold an intervention for him. Pranked, you know? It rules.
I'm very happy to be living with Chad. I lived alone for a few years after the divorce. I feel like if you live alone for too long, you start to become feral. Make some noise if you live alone right now. All right, so that's 12 people who showered for the first time tonight. Good for you. I am honored to be the reason you would bathe and leave your home. Because you don't have to do anything when you live alone. There's nobody around to judge you, and you start to act like you were raised by wolves, right? I watched myself do something so unhinged at one point. I don't know if you guys have it in your shower, where if the water's been hitting the shower curtain for a long time, it starts to get kind of discolored at the bottom. I tried cleaning it, it wouldn't come off, and instead of just going and buying a new shower curtain like a normal person, I just sat in my bathtub with scissors and I just cut the bottom. I just went full meth head. I was just like, ay. Arts and crafts. I literally gave my shower bangs. It's not a mentally stable place to be in. And then, of course, it really looked like it. So I went to Target, and they had just released fall candles. And I learned that day that if you smell candles for 30 minutes straight, you will accidentally get a little high. Nothing crazy, but I'm a lightweight, and nobody in the DARE program talked to me about candles. So I was unprepared for what happened to my body. So I was floating around Target. I grabbed the shower curtain I wanted, and when I went home and hung it up, it only stretched like half the length of my shower, and it was so long, 5 extra feet of fabric coming off the bottom of this thing. And my stepsister came over the next day, and she used my bathroom, and she came out and she goes, why do you have a window curtain in there? I was like, what now? She goes, that's a window curtain. You didn't think it was weird that when you hung it up, there was an entire Met Gala ball gown coming off of it? I was like, I accidentally got hooked up on pumpkin spice and I blacked out. I don't want to talk about it. But it's fine. I can fix this. And I grabbed my scissors and I just cut the bottom.
I think white people are the only race of people that like to be scared for fun. Like, you feel me? Not an attack. Doesn't make you bad. Makes you interesting. But not bad, but bungee jumping, skydiving, swimming with sharks, these are torture tactics. Some of you pay for them. That's a curveball. I just think white people get to have a different relationship with fear. Doesn't make anyone bad. I just think it's an interesting observation. White people can have a different relationship with fear. Like, I think white people are the only people you could walk up to and just be like, hey, you want to do something scary today? And y'all will just outright say no. You feel me? You'll be like, well, what do you got in mind? You feel me? But like, you go to anybody of another race, they're like, no. But like, white people have follow-up questions sometimes. They're like, well, what are you thinking? Okay. Look at roller coasters, right? Theme park owners know white people love being scared so much, you'll pay for a picture of your own face terrified. That's their business model. That's how reliable it is. They were like, yeah, that's where we're gonna get the rest of the money. I've been in so many white homes and seen a framed picture of the entire family terrified. Why? Why is that even a thing? I haven't been in one black family's home and seen a picture of 4 black people absolutely terrified. And they're like, yeah, that's the time I got stuck up at gunpoint, right there. That's us. This is where I tried to sell my kids for my own life. So wild to me, man. And understand what I'm saying, because I understand I'm generally speaking, right? I'm speaking in generalities. I understand there's special case scenarios for everything. So please, like, I'm not being irresponsible with this. Just be on the same page with me. I'm just saying, generally speaking, though, that kind of holds true. I'm saying, generally speaking, I feel like white people feel fear so rarely that y'all schedule it as a vacation activity. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, literally put it on a schedule. You're like, at 12, we're gonna have lunch. At 1, we're gonna pet a tiger. You're like, what the f are you talking about? A tiger? Huh? You know what no one black has ever said to me? I wanna go on a safari. Not once. I got so many black friends, no one's ever wanted to go. It's our country, and we're like, nah. But I have so many white friends that want to go. Doesn't make them bad. I'm just saying it's an interesting difference that you can spot and go, oh, okay. Why doesn't the safari sound insane to everybody? I didn't realize it was something we were so, like, polarized on. I thought we were all of the same mind, like, that's f***ing crazy. And apparently we don't agree. I never understood, like, why it isn't crazy. You want to go to the zoo without the walls? That's what we want to do? You want to take away my favorite part of the zoo? The part where they can't get me? That's what we're taking away? Oh, all right. Every time I go to the zoo, people are looking at the animals. I'm looking at the structures. I'm like, that's a good wall. Like that net. Love that glass. I've never understood it. Why doesn't a safari sound dangerous to everybody? It's not even a safe web browser. You feel me? You ever open up Safari in front of somebody with Firefox? Like, what the f are you doing, man?
My wife, Lindsay, she's a good stepmom. She's great with the kids. She gets along with my ex-wife, which is nice. I get along with my ex-wife, too, you know, for the most part. We try and run parenting decisions by the other person. She's only done something once that really, really made me mad because she never ran it by me, and I thought it was kind of an important decision. Just without consulting me, she just went out and got my kids a giant stepdad. And I didn't care for it. Had I been consulted, I would have preferred a tiny stepdad. It did irritate me for whatever reason. I hoped and I assumed I would be the bigger dude. And I just wanted that to be reality. And then this guy's like 6'5", you know, probably 250, 260. First time I saw him, I just had a sick feeling in my stomach. Just like, no! No! Why can't he be like 5'1", $110 or something? Some little step guy could toss around to amuse the kids. That's a fun stepdad, the one who lets you toss him around. Hey kids, you want to see how high I can throw your stepdad today? It's funny, right? Get over here! Shouldn't matter. He's a good stepdad. You know, he's nice to the kid. That's all that really matters. I don't think about him being bigger, you know, a lot consciously, but he's definitely snuck into my subconscious. Because I'll be having weird daydreams. He'll make a cameo. You know, I don't even know why I'm really thinking about it. So I have thinking about some little kid, you know, playground argument. Like, yeah? Well, my dad could beat up your dad. Maybe. I don't know. He might not, you know, if I really think about it. My stepdad could crush your dad for sure. My stepdad would destroy your dad. My dad, he'd probably have something funny to say about it. I don't know. That's he'd throw in a witty comment from a safe distance. Make up excuses later why he couldn't join in, you know? I think it's every dad wants to be the alpha in the family. You know, like as a guy, you want to be able to protect the kids. Like if God forbid my kid's stepdad ever, you know, did something like smacked him around, I would like to be able to smack him around without even thinking about it. You know, just go knock him around, see how he likes it. I want to be that kind of dad. I don't want to be the kind of dad who's like, what? Your stepdad hit you guys? Seriously, both of you? Man, that's rough. Bet that hurt. He's a big guy. He probably hits pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie, you're in a tough spot. You're gonna want to think about what you did to upset him and probably try and just do less of that. Good luck. For years I tried to get these greeting cards on store shelves. You know, it just never worked. I don't know why. I thought they were fun. I feel like there's kind of, you know, meaner cards out there now, which is more my sense of humor, but maybe they just weren't ready for them. I had fun stuff like, Happy New Year's, buddy. I made a resolution to hang out with smarter, more attractive friends. You take care of yourself. I want to thank you for making me believe again in the possibility of Sasquatch. There's no way that thing's entirely human. Congratulations on your new baby. As each day passes, you grow older and weaker. I've been working out. Revenge is near. Happy Father's Day.
You know, I have 4 older brothers, okay? 3 of my older brothers, super fun. Life of the party. One of my older brothers, kind of a hard ass. Bit of a bully. When we were kids, he would beat us more than our parents. That's just wrong. Now, guess which one of my brothers became a cop? So I called him by accident. You ever call the wrong sibling? I was like, hello? Now I gotta think of something to say. So like, well, kids. He has kids, I have kids. We get that out of the way, 5 minutes. Hey man, what's going on? Just checking in, seeing how you doing, you know. Just got Nellie, that's my youngest daughter. Just got Nellie your last set of vaccinations, so she's all caught up. Yeah, we're not gonna be doing that around here. We're gonna keep our DNA intact. Now, my brother knows my daughter is adopted. I have 3 daughters. They're all from China because I'm terrified of my DNA. And I'm sorry, I don't understand how it can be in this day and age that an educated person can be against something as fundamentally beneficial as a vaccine. And then it hit me. You know why they're against it? Because other people are for it. The end. That's it. You just have to be for something, and they'll show up. It's all they have. It's what they do. Go online tomorrow morning and just quietly post, I like French toast. Check back in 20 minutes. French toast! Breakfast of the privileged? What else do you like for breakfast? Genocide? Where do you work? But his reasoning drives me crazy. I get vaccinated. I don't know how it works. Right. That's why we went out and got some people smarter than you. So we can have fun stuff like open heart surgery and airplanes. I don't know how zippers work. But every morning I put my faith in the science. Leave the house fairly certain I'm not going to be in line at the bank with my out. It all comes down to fear. It's just fear. I'm afraid I'm going to get sick, so I want everything you have. I want pills, I want shots, I want surgery, I want everything you can give me. But my brother, he's much smarter than I am. He's an independent thinker. He thinks what all the other independent thinkers think. That the government, the same people in charge of the post office and the DMV, are also behind a massive global genetic super conspiracy that I will believe when I can buy one stamp in under 45 minutes.